Hello, beautiful essences, and good evening. Welcome to Mom's Uncensored Dream Big. So basically what this call is going to be centered around is at the beginning of the year, if those of you who know JereLyn and I, we are on another Google Hangout called Coffee and Inspiration with Crystal Starshine and friends. And back in December, they did a call centered around My Amazing Year Workbook by Leilani Dawson. And it's all about trying to achieve your dreams and your goals and setting up your intention for the year. Well, I've been mentioning how I really want to check in and not just with, not necessarily publicly, but I really have wanted to check in with someone, and I chose JereLyn as like my accountability buddy of really looking at like, okay, what did I really set out for the year? Because we have so many New Year's resolutions. I've had probably thousands of them of just like, I want to do this and I want to do that, but I never actually wrote them down. And that's what the interesting thing about this Amazing Year Workbook is. Unfortunately, I am not in my home, so I'm going to have to look at it on my phone. And that's the really cool thing about this product in particular is it's an ebook, so you can put it on your phone, your tablets, your computer. You can print it off. You can basically have it anywhere that can read a PDF, because that's what it is. It's a PDF file. And so one of the really cool things, and what really prompted this particular talk was, I think it was last week, 2 weeks ago, I went to California. It was all expenses paid, and it was very exciting, and it was wonderful. And what was interesting, and unfortunately, as I pull up my phone, I see that you guys probably can't see it, but one of the things I did at the very beginning of the year is I scheduled everything that I wanted to achieve for that year and set timelines with them, like complete timelines. And it's a certain color on my Google Calendar. And so if you have a smartphone or a tablet, you know that your Google Calendar basically will have it set up, and I look at it every day of things that are going on, things that are to do, what do I have to do that day. Well, last month, starting on the 20th through the 22nd, I put down vacation weekend. I wanted to go on 4 vacations this year. Didn't know how, didn't know when. Actually, the first thing that came to my mind when I was like, I want to go on vacations was literally just taking time off of work and doing a staycation and staying at home and renting a bunch of movies from Redbox and eating a lot of popcorn and some ice cream involved and just hang out with my family. What was very interesting is Sunday, June 22nd is the Tuesday before I went to California. I went to California on the 24th through the 27th, which was absolutely amazing. And I don't know about you guys, but it really solidifies the whole entire make an intention, put it out into the universe, and see what happens. It's like I couldn't have planned for a better vacation. Sure, I was there for a conference with my university and, this and that, and I had things to do, but I had an opportunity of a lifetime, because who knows when I'll be able to go back to California. I'm an East Coast girl. I'm not a West Coast girl. And the sheer fact that I had the opportunity to go to the West Coast, I've never been in that time zone before, like the universe just took that and ran with it. So just simple things like that. It was just one of those, throughout it, one of the suggestions was to plan out vacations. And, I like the topic of dreaming big because it was such a small intention. And I made it, and at first I made it so tiny. But the universe took it and made me be able to achieve a dream that I never thought possible. I got to meet one of my classmates from Strengthening Your Psychic Abilities course, Chelsea Wentz. Never thought in a million years she would be the one that I would meet from that class. I actually met her before I met one of my other students who lives here in Georgia. Just very simple things like that. I had no clue that would be ever possible. And it's got some very interesting different things to do throughout here, but the main thing I've noticed about dreaming big is no dream is too small and no dream is too stupid. I am worthy of every dream that I have. There are goals for me that I have no clue how they will ever be achievable. You know, the 100 things to do list in 2014, there's a few of them on here, and some of them are, you know, I want to weigh a certain weight, I want to lose some weight, get paid for readings. That's been achieved. I've had multiple readings done and paid for. I wanted to read at the Awakened Spirit Expo. At the time, I didn't have a booth. Sure enough, I read at that Awakened Spirit Expo. Graduate the Strengthening Your Psychic Abilities class. Already done that. I want to graduate college with my bachelor's degree. I have an interview tomorrow for an internship opportunity, and that is the last thing I have to do to graduate from college. You know, read 10 events. I want to do visual verbal journals, which I've done a YouTube video about, and I'm starting to create an e-course about that. And like this vacuum bedroom, vacuum house, you know, just vacuum. Plant a garden. You know, I'm actually getting an herb garden starting up right now. Be able to send long distance healing and Reiki. That's on here. Coloring books. You know, just smaller things and bigger things too. You know, just putting that intention out there of like, you know, these are my intentions, these are my dreams, these are my goals, and this is what I really want to do with my life. So business-wise, this is my thing that I really set a lot of my business around. One of them was the intention of what goals do I have for my business. One of them was to have, you know, have a really good, strong presence on Twitter. I have 500 followers by the end of the year. I'm at 929. I'm looking at my Twitter right now. I know you guys can't really see it on my phone. But I have 929 followers, and it's really cool because and the other thing is, like, I honed in on, like, my tribe, like, people that I connect with, like businesses and future clients and friends. You know, I've gotten a lot of big opportunities out of this Twitter. I've met, quote unquote, met Pam Grout through Twitter, and I started tweeting to her and promoting her being at the Awakened Spirit Expo. And that Saturday night, after she spoke, I got to go up to her and say, "By the way, I'm Lindsay, Everlast Essence. Thank you for following me back on Twitter." She knew who I was. You know, in my head, I'm like, oh, a New York Times bestseller knows my name. That's so cool. You know, it's just very simple things of, like, you know, it's not my intention to be famous, even though it's kind of cool that 2 people have said, "Oh, I know you from Twitter." Or not Twitter, from YouTube. You know, that's pretty cool. And, you know, having these goals and dreams of getting certified in many different things, which for me costs quite a bit of money. And sure enough, by the end of the year, I'm going to be a certified life coach, certified spiritual life coach, certified ethical psychic, certified crystal healer. Right now, I'm currently Reiki 2. Only Spirit knows if I'll be a Reiki master by the end of the year. The Shaki Records practitioner. All of this happened this year, and it's only July. I feel like I'm missing something. But, like, there's all these different things that are going on. Not only that, but I'm really starting to figure out exactly what I want to do and what direction I want to go in, you know. JereLyn's got very different big dreams and goals than I do. For me, I would like to go more of the virtual assistant route and helping people via social media and stuff like that. But I also really enjoy my art side. So, and I really, you know, I'm good at doing readings. It's not my favorite. As I say this, I can just feel myself kind of cringe. It's not my favorite thing to do, but I enjoy guiding others spiritually. Like, I can definitely see myself really honing in on, like, the life coaching and the spiritual life coaching path more than the psychic readings. But being certified as an ethical psychic through Crystal's class has given me a foundation of what ethics are and how important they are. And for me, these are very important dreams and goals that I really, really wanted to hone in on and be a part of and really focus on. And I seriously, what happened was I plugged myself into the right network, the right tribe of people who want to help me succeed, and that's what's happened. So I'm going to pull up JereLyn. What do you got, girl?
So, like when I was doing the workbook, you know, it kept repeating to dream big and to put like impossible things on there, like impossibly big stuff that you can't figure out how it could possibly happen, but it's something that you want to bring into your life. And so one of the things that keeps popping up for me is to go to Australia. So I have that on my list, and I have it in the workbook like 20 times because it keeps coming up, you know, like what's when you're, you know, big dreams, what's your like perfect day or something was one of them. But it was specific to that, you know, and you know, some of them were like, what teachers and mentors would you like to invite into your life? So I have people on there like Gabby Bernstein and Deepak Chopra and this woman that I follow on YouTube. Her shop and her company is called Divine Miracles, and her name's she goes by B Divine, but her name's Rebecca Divine. I have Jim Carrey on the list. I have, you know, Alison Dubois, Natalie Portman. So I have, you know, just normal actors and actresses, and you know, the Charmed group. This girl that I follow on Facebook, her name is Karis or Charis. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but Karis Melina Brown. I just love her the way she talks about stuff and the way that she views the world. I think is just really awesome. She's always posting, like, I can't afford her stuff. I mean, she's got a tarot class for like $300 or something. Ridiculous for me. For my budget, that's ridiculous. For her budget, that's people pay. People pay to take her class. But she'll post like a single tarot card and put the reading up, you know, and she'll post pictures in Sedona, Arizona, where she's done something with the filter, and it looks freaking, like the colors are just like saturated and very like a little surreal. And she'll do like these yoga poses, and just her stuff's just very visceral and very, you know, aesthetically pleasing. And then she'll be like, she's making homemade organic like chocolate lava stuff, and you're just like, oh my god, I want that. And you're like, I want that life. She's just so magically plugged in, and you know, she's a believer in you know, paradigm shifting, and that everything's a hologram, and you create your own reality, and you know, all the stuff that Pam Grout talks about too. But Pam Grout's more of the physics kind of side, quantum physics, and then Cheris is on the side of magic happens, magic's real, and she's a goddess girl. But she's actually from an academic side too. She's got a bachelor's degree and, you know, just all this other stuff in you know, the real realm kind of. She's got the real realm background, then she just decided to go be magical one day. And that's what she decided to do with her life. And I applaud her, and that's exactly what I want. I want her life my way. And she gets to travel and do all these crazy stuff. And Pam Grout gets to travel. That's one of her jobs. She's a travel writer. I would love that job. That's, you know, I would love to do that. And that's what I want, and that's what's reflected in my workbook, is that I want that life that's full of all the luscious things. You know, I've worked really, really hard, and I've gotten a degree this year. And it's the first time I've actually completed college. I've been in college since 2008, but it's the first time I've actually completed one singular degree instead of, I like to go, oh, I like that, oh, I like that, and oh, I like that too. And I'm just going to take all these random classes that don't actually add up to anything. And I was in a program, but then I didn't have an equivalent one or something happened, and I switched careers, basically. So I finally stuck through a program long enough to graduate out of it. And now I'm in Richmond, Virginia, of all places, training for a job relating to that field. So, but it's all, you know, this crazy labyrinth of a path. And I don't know where it's going. And I know what I want to bring into my life. I don't know how I'm going to do it. But part of Like, part of the way to bring something into your life is to know what you want in the first place. So doing a workbook like this, and it doesn't have to be Leonie Dawson's, it doesn't have to be, you know, Gabrielle Bernstein's, it doesn't have to be any specific gurus, it can be something you do just by yourself. You know, you can write it down and make it happen, and as long as you have those goals in mind, you know, one of the things that Leonie does is she's like, okay, make actionable goals. So you break it down into little steps. Well, how could I bring it in? And some of it's like she wants, okay, one of her examples was to go to Hawaii. Well, you know, one of the things was just like look up the price of the tickets. Well, that's not hard. I mean, it may be like $3 million to get to Hawaii, and granted, that's not really what it costs, but it is expensive to go to Hawaii, and it's expensive to live in Hawaii. They're expensive little people. Anyway, but look it up. How much does it actually cost? You know, until you actually look it up and see, it's just this ginormous figure in your head. Oh my God, it's going to cost me $9,000 to go to Hawaii or to go to Australia or go wherever, and it's not attainable because in your head it's not attainable. It's not a real thing. And so, okay, well, how can I get a little bit closer? How can I budget that in? How can I make a little bit more money doing something to put towards that? You know, so you could do extra readings, or you could sell the old couch that you're not using, or you can, you know, and all of that can go into your little vacation jar that you have set aside for Hawaii or Australia or wherever. And so you take this really crazy, awesome, unimaginable, unattainable dream, and you make it something with weight and something with solidity, and something like, instead of just being a balloon floating in the air above you, it's a balloon with paperweight attached so it doesn't fly away. And so you put more weights on it, and it gets closer and closer to you until finally, there you are. You're sitting in a first-class seat on the way to Australia. And it's fucking awesome. And your life is exactly what you wanted it to be, because you made it that way. You, every day, can do something small to get yourself there, even if it's just thinking about it today. You know, like, what will it be like when I get to Australia, and what kind of a day do I want to have the first day I get there? And, you know, well, is there a show in Sydney that I want to go to? Do I even want to go to Sydney? Well, who do I want to meet when I get there? You know, that girl Bindy's kind of cool, you know. She's Steve Irwin's daughter, and she's got all these crazy animals that she likes to pal around with. You know, one of the things that I did that brought me closer to my goal of going to Australia is I watched a movie with her in it. I watched The Secret to Nim's Island, or Return to Nim's Island. Well, in the original, it's Abigail Breslin, but Bindi is in the second movie. So I sat there and I watched it, and the acting was not all that wonderful. But I sat through the entire movie, and I watched two Australian teenagers, you know, just talk and fall in love. And one of the things that I used to do was I watched a show set in Australia. So those little tiny things, they're bringing you closer, even if they don't feel like it, even if it doesn't seem like it right then. Like, what does a TV show set in Australia have to do with getting me to Australia? It does, because it brings Australia and you just that ever so much closer, and ever so much into your realm of possibility, and ever so much of, well, maybe I can do that. Maybe I can get there. And if this kid saved from babysitting the twins in the apartment below him to get to Nim, to get on her crazy island from Australia, well, then I can save to get from my crazy island of the world to his Australia. So, you know, it's just, if you don't ever believe you can, then you won't. So figure out a way that you can wrap your brain around it and make yourself believe you can. Because you may not know how the hell you're going to get to Mexico, or how the hell you're going to find the woman of your dreams. But it doesn't matter. As long as you have that goal, and as long as you can bring yourself a little bit closer to that each day, even if it's by reading cheesy romance novels an hour a day, do it. Do it. Because it's all about intention. It's all about mindset. And it's all about getting yourself there. And getting your mind there is getting you physically closer. That's what I believe anyway.
Yeah, as we were talking, one thing that I really want to hone in on for everyone tonight and whoever else watches, um, before I jump into that, on my lower third right here, I've put up our Facebook page. I forgot to put up the Q&A, and I know that we have a viewer who has been on the entire time. So if you have any questions or comments, hit up the Facebook page, because while I'm talking, JereLyn will be monitoring and looking at the page, and then while she's talking, I will be monitoring. So go ahead and say hi. I have a funny feeling I know exactly who it is. But so yeah, if you have any questions or comments, you're more than welcome to say hi. And so yeah, the whole entire idea of taking a huge dream and a huge goal. You know, right now, especially with my experience going to California, I have decided that I have a goal, bucket list, call it my bucket list goals, of visiting all 50 states in the United States before I die. You know, it's just a funny goal that, you know, for a long time I've actually always wondered what all 50 states look like, and it's interesting how throughout my life I've been able to travel to 22 different states currently, which is funny to say, especially since I never left this time zone until I was 18. So I've been in the East Coast pretty much my entire life. And it wasn't until I was 18 that I actually left this time zone. I kind of joke about that, but it's for real. So, you know, I mentioned this to someone, and she said, you know, I'm thinking about doing a retreat in Arkansas. I've never been to Arkansas. That would be a lot of fun. And I was thinking about different things, how my husband, with one of the things that he does, has an opportunity to go to Hawaii in April. That would be really fun. And he loves Alaska, and he wanted to go back to Alaska. That's doable too. And one of the things that I've done is I looked at plane tickets, because they'll pay for him to go out there, but I need a plane ticket. So I looked up the price for a round trip ticket, and it was like 2 months ago when I looked, and it was like $900 at the time. And so I was just thinking about it. I was like, you know what? Maybe I could find that somewhere in the middle of my budget. Maybe something will come up. And that's another really big thing, because most of my goals, to achieve them, have like a financial tie to it. And for me, I get very hung up on that very easily, because I look at my life, I look at my budget, I look at my bills, I look at my debt, I look at my loans. I've got student loans I've got to pay off. I've got, you know, bills that I've got to pay. It freaks me out. It really does. And one of the things I've noticed is, you know what, the money is always there. It's always provided for. And it's always there when I need it. JereLyn and I had a goal of having enough money to take a crystal healing course. Well, we were pushed into paying some of that really, really lot sooner than either one of us were expecting, because the price of the course actually goes up today. But both of us were like, you know what, we'll do the down payment now. Sure enough, the down payment was in my bank account. And I know that everything will be provided for and everything will take care of itself. And it's just one of those, you know, I have to have faith and trust that everything will work out exactly the way it's meant to be. You know, I'm exactly where I'm meant to be today. Not where I'm supposed to be, but where I'm meant to be today. And if I have dreams and goals to go to Australia, or go to Hawaii, or the 50 states, or go to Europe, or travel, and, you know, I know JereLyn and I are big, like to travel, or at least I do. I'm just saying that she does. I figured that she does. I don't think I've actually heard her say I like to travel specifically, but, you know, every time that we've talked about stuff, we enjoy traveling. We enjoy going places. We enjoy different things. And you know what? I have been given opportunities beyond my imagination to be able to do all of my dreams. It's kind of funny. I think, I joked with a lot of friends for a long time that I'm like a mother to everybody. I'm mother hen, and I wasn't married or had children at the time. But soon enough, as soon as it was just like, Mama Bear is coming out, I became pregnant with my daughter, and I think part of it is because I created that pseudo reality into my life of, I like to take care of others. I like to be mother figure to others, and sure enough, now I'm a mother. So there's just different things that I've noticed, that the power of, well, what do I want to be? Who do I like to be? I like to be mom. I like to help others. I like to be present for others. I like to do what I can when I can. And as I say this, it's just like I'm thinking of all these different people who have recently cut me out of their lives, and it makes me laugh because, like, as I'm saying this, it's almost like a contradiction, but at the same time, they're not on the same vibrational field as I am. The lives that they're living, yes, we were on the same the same path at some point, but the direction that I'm going in now is definitely not the direction they're going in. I'm going in a direction of abundance and prosperity, and I don't want to have to live off of student loans, and I want to create my own business. Not do I want to, I'm creating my own business, and I can actually see myself succeeding in it and living off of it and having big dreams and big goals of, like, you know what? Just because I have a bachelor's degree in anthropology does not mean that I have to use it to and get a quote-unquote regular job to feel fulfilled and feel like I'm making a difference in this world. I want to spend a lot of my time with Erica. I actually really enjoy taking her to the park and to the pool and being mommy, and I enjoy doing Google Hangouts. I enjoy creating stuff with JereLyn. I enjoy doing readings with other people and interacting with other people within my tribe. I just really enjoy that. I enjoy the communication in the conversations, and I love having those conversations with people and the light in their eyes wake up. That aha moment that, you know what, I'm really grateful that you were open enough to have that conversation with me. You were open enough to listen to what I have to say, Lindsay, and open and willing to share your experiences with things. I don't know where that came from. That was definitely not me. Shared a little much that I wasn't really expecting. So I'm just going to pop JereLyn in real quick and see if she has anything that she wants to add right now.
One of the things that I liked about the workbook that we were talking about is that it asks you to check in, and I like that, checking in with your goals and your dreams, because they can change, and you also can reflect on how much you have achieved. Lindsay and I have both gotten multiple certifications since the beginning of the year. We're both gotten a lot farther in our education. She's graduating with a bachelor's. I just graduated with an associate's. And one of the things that it asked us to do was to release, and to release 2013 with grace and celebration. And everybody does New Year's resolutions. It's a cultural thing. They do New Year's resolutions, and most of the time people don't stick with them. They're like, oh, I really need to lose the last 10 pounds, and then they gain another 20 by Thanksgiving. So, part of really sticking to it is acknowledging how far you've come, and acknowledging that often. Lindsay manifested vacations that she could have never dreamed about prior to, just by setting the intention of, I'm going to have a vacation around this time of year. Whether it's big or it's small, and it can turn into something great, something that you didn't realize it could. You know, like Lindsay's vacation turned into this whole conference of, you know, awesomeness. And she was, you know, helping others and learning how to help others and helping herself by going to the West Coast and doing something she's never done before and getting some really cool spiritual videos and photos. And it was just, you know, it's fun even just sharing that experience with her, because I used to live over there. And just to be like, hey, I know that beach. And be able to share that with her was really cool. And, you know, that's part of having a tribe, too, is being able to share all the stuff that you've experienced in the last year and the last 6 months. And, you know, Lindsay and I have grown a lot just by knowing each other and talking to each other and being friends, you know. And, you know, another thing it asks you to do is, what do you want to stop doing this year? You know, not, yes, what do you want to achieve? That's great. What good habits do you want to implement? That's great. But what do you want to stop doing? You know, and a lot of my stuff was I wanted to stop having self-doubt, and I wanted to stop worrying so much. And, you know, I wanted, you know, I wrote on here to stop blocking my possibilities and stop blocking abundance and prosperity and, you know, having to live to please others. You know, I'm always trying to do what my mom wants me to do, or what my grandma wanted me to do, or whoever wanted me to do, even if it's just somebody who's just a friend of mine. Like, hey, do you want to go to the movies or go to dinner? Well, I really want to go to dinner. Well, I really don't. I actually want to go to the movies. But I'm going to go to dinner because you said you wanted to. Why? Why do I do that all the time? You know? Ignoring spirit, ignoring your heart's calling. You know? That's a big deal. People can make so much money and be so miserable. Or they can marry the person that they were told to marry their entire life, but they fell in love with the girl next door ages ago. But they weren't, you know, a suitable match, supposedly, right? So just, I want to stop all that stuff. I want to stop hindering my own self-growth, and we should all strive for that, I think, because we'd all be a lot happier if we did. And, you know, yeah. Hi, Lindsay. You're muted.
Am I unmuted now?
You're unmuted, yes.
Okay. I just wanted to pop in. I remember that section. I don't have it in this one in my phone, but I remember that section, how I decided to stop living in fear. You know, not letting fear run my life. It's funny that you were mentioning those things, how literally was it days ago that we were just talking about the fear that's going on in my life? Was it days ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a couple of days ago. And it was just very shocking how, you know, I'm not intentionally thinking about it, but I have thought about how this year for me is to live without fear and find serenity. Like, my word of the year is serenity. But to live without fear, to release that fear and find peace and serenity in my life. It's funny that you brought that up, because we literally were just talking about this a few days ago, how I want to release those fears, and they're really stupid. Like, literally all it is communication and opening up my mouth. Like, JereLyn's sitting right there. I want everybody to see that cute little smile. Yeah, it was insane. Absolutely insane. So I just wanted to throw that in there before you keep going. So you're good. Never mind.
Yeah. I just, I struggle a lot with self-doubt and self-worth, and I think almost every girl in America or life has the same issues. We struggle with how much we think we are worth and how much society values us. And, you know, I was talking to Crystal, and I was like, well, I want to be a doctor of naturopathy, and here's what you have to do to get there. And you have to have, you know, my associates is a stepping stone, but then you need a bachelor's on top of that, and then you need to go to the doctor of naturopathic school and do that, and da-da-da. And she's like, why do you need all these degrees? Why do you need all these certifications? You know, why can't you just teach what you know and learn as you go and keep on going? You know, like all the certifications that Lindsay and I have gotten this year are great, but all those people started out just like us, and they got certified by other people who were just another step ahead of them, you know. And we're all, one of Gabby Bernstein's things was, you know, your mentors are equal to you. Nobody's above you. There's no pillar system, you know, no caste system. Everybody's divine and everybody's equal. And it's sometimes really, really hard to remember that. And to remember that, you know, the good guy, the bad guy, we're all the same. We're all worth the same. We're all divine. We're all spirit in a human body. And we need to remember that. And, you know, the last thing on my list is something that I don't exactly have control over, but I have control of my reaction to it, and it's losing the people that I love. And a lot of people in my family have died, and they keep dying because that's what people do. And I also lose people just by them leaving my life. And, you know, sometimes that happens because we're not, like Lindsay was talking about, we're not on the same wavelength anymore. You know, we want different things, and we go after different things, and so those people drift away. And sometimes they choose to leave. Like, I had somebody choose to leave my life because they felt like if they didn't leave my life, that I would hold myself back to be with them instead of to go do whatever I needed to do. Like, I wouldn't reach my full potential or something really stupid, in my opinion. Stupid. But to them, it was very important to them. So you never really know where somebody's coming from and what their perception is. And you can get really hurt or angry or call them stupid, or, I mean, I didn't call them stupid, but you know what I mean. And you have to honor their decision, even though you think they should have consulted you first, and it should have been an open book conversation between two people. You have to honor their decision, and you have to feel hurt or feel sad or feel whatever, but then you have to let that go. And you have to still be okay with the fact that you love them and they're leaving your life. And they're not two mutually exclusive things. Just because they're leaving your life doesn't make you love them any less. And if they stayed, there's no difference. You still love them. And that's okay. We're allowed to love people, even if we perceive it as they don't love us back because they're leaving. And a lot of the times people leave and it has nothing to do with if they love you or not. You know, they die or they have other experiences that lead them away. But regardless of the reason, it's okay. You know, and it's okay to love somebody and not feel stupid about it, regardless of how they feel about you, because we're all equal. We're all spirit, we're all divine, and love is never wrong. It's never a wrong choice, you know, to feel that way, to honor that feeling, even if the circumstances around your love make you sad. So that's one of the things that I have to remind myself, and I keep getting reminded of. So apparently I need that lesson this year to learn to love and to let go at the same time. And that's a really hard lesson for people. It's a really hard lesson even if when I lose my dog. Oh my God, I was distraught when my dog died. He was my best friend since I was a little kid. But you have to learn to love and to let go. And it sucks. But it's part of life.
All right, JereLyn. Well, first off, hello, Heather. I knew it was you. I just needed verification that it was you. Hi. We're so happy that you're here watching this with us. I want to put us on the spot, just so we can just giggle later on. What are your goals and intentions for Essence of the Blue Rose? I want to go ahead and document it live because I know that Crystal did it recently on Coffee and Inspiration about her book. And I think we should just go ahead and let people know, you know what, this is what, or your blog, Kissing Blue Roses, or anything, like, what are your goals that you have for you, and then you can put me on the spot, and I will do the same. As you drink your tea.
So, one of my goals is to be a spiritual guru. And it sounds fucking crazy. And it sounds stupid. But that's what I want. See, Lindsay's yelling at me right now. But see, that's part of accepting big dreams, is that they sound crazy to us. Okay, maybe not to Lindsay, or maybe not to Joe Schmo down the street, who always believed you could be a doctor, but they sound unattainable. And that's part of something that we just have to accept, that impossible can be broken down into I'm possible, I am possible. Because there's no such thing as impossible. There's only such a thing as impossible as long as you believe it's impossible. So for me, I want Essence of the Blue Rose to become a mecca, to become a community, to become somewhere where people can go to find spiritual growth and to not be suffocated and live in shame and in hiding of their gifts or their connection or whatever. And one of my avenues is abused women. And so I do want to explore that more, and I want to start giving speeches on that. And I have a lot of touches with suicide and depression and anxiety and all that stuff from various people in my life and from my own experiences. And so I'd like to start talking more about that, because they're all really touchy subjects, and they're all really important subjects. And we lose people that don't need to be lost because of these touchy subjects that nobody talks about until it's too late. So I want Essence of the Blue Rose to be a haven and a spiritual mecca, and to be spiritually freaking awesome. And I will be this awesome little midget spiritual guru. So there.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love every part of that. And what I was screaming at her was, it's not crazy. It's not. Do you hear me, JereLyn? It's not crazy. It's not. Gosh, I would love to become that. As you said that, like, I really resonated with it, because I was actually trying to think of what I expect, what my goals and dreams are for Essence of the Blue Rose, and the thing that comes to me is like community or guidance or pathway, you know, but a safe haven. I agree, a safe haven. You know, one of the avenues you were talking about, abused women. For me, it's those who want to be in long-term sustainable recovery from addiction, from all forms of addiction, or mental disabilities, mental disorders, or whatever. Because I relate to that 100%, and I have a lot of experience, strength, and hope in that avenue. And, you know, different ways that I've been able to live through that is to find people I trust, and to find a tribe, and to find people that I jive with, and one of them is JereLyn. And another thing that's helped me stay alive is my art. And another thing that, you know, I have a big interest in is, you know, my art, and in putting it in computer form. I'm working on, because there's a few years of my life where I have nothing in those few years, like I have no memories. I've been journaling and asking for more information from those years. I actually created a website when I was 11 years old. It was a bunch of those weird little, I don't even remember, it's dolls, they call them dolls, but they were like these little graphics, and I created a website, and I mean, it was like old school HTML to a T, but I was teaching myself code. I was teaching myself code. I was teaching myself how to do graphic design. I was teaching myself how to do all these different things. And one of the things that I have an opportunity to do soon is to help Crystal with her business and website making and relearning code, relearning all of that is, and also an opportunity to work on graphic design and helping Heather out with making her layout of her life coaching certification course super badass. I'm so excited about it. For those of you who are watching, it's going to be so badass and exciting. JereLyn and I are in the middle of taking the class right now, and it's just, it's so exciting. And so I'm excited to share my ideas, to push that into a direction. Like, I don't have to go into this avenue of specifically, like, honing in on just this particular group of people. It's anybody and everybody. It's not exclusive, it's inclusive. Or other way around. Anyways, I spaced out there. I was right. Thank you, JereLyn. And as you were saying, impossible, for those of you who are as big of Big Bang Theory fans as I am, all I can think of is this quote that Sheldon made, that impossible does not exist, only improbable. That's improbable, not impossible. Impossible does not exist. Or something along those lines from an episode. And he said it so quickly, but it made a really big impact on me. There is no such thing as impossible. I only make things impossible. And that's why when I made my vacation goals of, I just want a vacation. Thinking of a staycation, but I'm open to whatever. I didn't limit myself to certain aspects. I was able to have it as big as possible. I thought it was impossible for me, who has no money really to wiggle right now, to go to California. Like, seriously, like, I had no idea that would be possible. I thought it was impossible. But I like to really open things up of, you know what, let's just see what you guys have in store. Let's just see what you guys want to do for me. To the point of, I had a goal of 4 different vacations this year, and I will have 4 vacations this year. I'm really excited, and one of them I get to have with my daughter. I call the Awaken Spirit Expo weekend a vacation because it was almost expenses paid. It really was for me. For other people, not so much, but for me it was. Vacation number 2 is California. Next week I'm going to Florida. And then I'm going back to Florida the Labor Day weekend. And I get to go to Harry Potter World. Yay! Never been. I'm so excited. I get to do these fun things. Now, granted, only one of them's a true vacation in my head of, like, we're going there and we're not doing any conferences or expos or anything like that. But for me, I see, like, what I am doing for my business, what my goals are for my life. When I go on a conference, I don't see it as a conference. Like, it's fun. I had a blast last week. I met some really great people, and I got to network, and I got to hear some things that actually I'm really excited about putting in my debugging social media ebook that I've got worked on right now. It made me start thinking about things very differently. And, the expos are so much fun because it's yet another place to network and get to know people. JereLyn and I got the most amazing gift ever of finding these, the wands that her and I keep talking about, our energy wands. Like, if we didn't go to that expo, I don't know, they probably would have been landed in our lives at some point, but, like, the more and more and more that I practice, I will not put my intentions in a box. Like, I'm really practicing that. I don't want this in a box. I don't even want sky as the limit. I don't even want the moon as the limit. I want the universe. Like, we're going to go to the farthest realm, like, farthest reaching stars. That's the limit. My universe is the limit, not the sky. I remember hearing the sky is the limit, Lindsay. No, it's not. It's the universe. We're going to go big, How am I going to get there? Starts with intention. Putting that out there. What do I really want in my life? And I've been put on the spot recently. What is if money wasn't an issue, what would you want to do? What does your ideal day look like? And it really caught me off guard because I actually did not even think about that. But now I have like an intentional, like, okay, well, I want to be mommy. I do. But I also want to have my time too. So it was one of those, I gave her like a week thing of Erica playing with other kids and me doing volunteer work, and I want to be able to cook dinner, and I want to have my own office in my house. I want to own my own house, like just various different things. And I have this thing in my head, and it's like, okay, I have this big dream. How do I get there? And that's always the main question. How do I get there? And that's what the Amazing Year workbook really centers on, and JereLyn talked about it, doing doable actions to maintain our dream, to achieve our dreams. So what am I doing today to try to get those dreams? Well, first I'm trying to achieve goals and dreams that I've put into motion before. One of them is to graduate college. I really just want to, it has been a personal, internal goal since, God, as long as I can remember. I want a bachelor's degree. And I'm literally people one class away. It's an internship, just one more class, gotta pass it, and then I'll be graduated, and I'm really excited about it. And then I'm starting to build up different things for me. I want to be able to help as many people as possible. And honing in on what can I do today, what can I do tomorrow, what can I do next week. And one of the things that, I don't know if you use it or not, invest in a calendar, people. Google Calendar, make one. The workbook that we have has one. Print it off, schedule it in your Google Calendar, make it happen. Schedule it. I wanted to have a presence on social media this year. That was my business goal. And I broke it down to Twitter one week, Facebook another week, and Pinterest another week, and Instagram another week. Like, they're all doable. Life goals. I wanted to get a tan this summer. As you can tell, it's a little red, but my arms are a little bit tan. Well, you know what? You guys can't see this because I look white as a ghost, but I kind of wanted to tan this summer, and I'm in the step in the right direction. How do I do that? Oh, I have to go out in the sun, or I have to go to a tanning bed. Like, what are some of your life goals? I had an intention of going to a state I've never been to this year. That was an intention, and I was fully able to achieve it. I went to California. Never been. I'm just trying to think of other little easy goals. Another one that I'm working on is figuring out what I want to keep in my house and what not to keep. I'm starting the declutter process of letting things go, and it was smacked in the face by a 2x4 by my husband this past week. I have to let go of Erica's old clothes because she's not 3 months old anymore. She doesn't need the 3-month clothes anymore. I can find a friend who needs them, or I can give them to Goodwill and just release and let go. Because they were given to me at the right opportunity, I can give it to other people. And one of the things I want to have is I want to have a house that's not so energetically messy, and JereLyn can do attest to that. There are times where it's a little gunky, and as much as I love sage, I also live with people who are not big fans of sage, but even sage needed a little help with that. Like, there's some things that just need to be done, So what can I do to achieve that? Oh, it's to throw things away. There are crystals that no longer belong to me. I can give them to people. Give them to their rightful owners. Or I can, another thing that was popping up is continue my wire wrapping and sell them. Just give them away. Sell them, release. So literally everything that you may think of that's unattainable, not impossible, but just unattainable at the moment, put it down, talk to JereLyn and I. It won't be long. If you're watching this on YouTube, today is July 7th, 2014. I can almost guarantee you if you're watching this a year from now, we're life coaches. You can come and sign up for coaching, and we will help you guide you in the direction of achieving your goals, because they are all doable. They are. Are you willing to actually look at your goal and break it down into bite-sized chunks to achieve what you want today? Do you have any final stuff, JereLyn?
I thought I was never going to get through these last 2 years. I totally never thought I was going to do it. And I did. I got that diploma in my hand, and I worked 6 jobs at one point to get that. And, I have debt to pay off, and, and one of my next goal was financial freedom. Well, I'm going to have an opportunity to have a job that gives me that. Well, then my next goal will be my spiritual guru business being my only business. So it's crazy as the last 2 years were. My goal got done, and it got done when it was supposed to. And this goal will get done, and the next goal will get done. And as crazy as it is, as long as you break it down into bite-sized pieces, like Lindsay was talking about, like, it's all doable. You want to be the queen of your little region, make your own country, totally can do that. It's a very long and complicated process, but hey, if you want to do that, I'll go all for it. So I just want to remind everybody that whether you do a workbook or you do the write it down method or you put it in your calendar, I'm all for Google Calendar. It's free. You have a Gmail account. You just stick it in there. That's how I made my life doable, just to keep sane with so many projects and things going on at the same time. Google was sometimes the only one who remembered my mother's birthday. So whatever little actions and little steps that you have to take, do it. And do it with as much joy and as little stress as possible, because the easier your life flows, the easier all of that stuff comes to you. Don't do what I did and make your life crazy for 2 years, because I've lost a lot of my hair. I've been called a border collie multiple times. It just keeps falling out. So don't do that. Make it easy and joyous, and keep up on your stress maintenance stuff. Meditation and journaling and going out in nature. And if you do that, retail therapy, or whatever it is. Lindsay's sisters and friends did that the other day, and my mother is a big believer in retail therapy, let me tell you. So vacations, huge. You have to take a break from life, because life, even if your life isn't what you think it is and isn't like crazy busy, stressful, and whatever, you get into that routine and you get into that rut and you get into that stagnance of energy where you're not creating anymore and you're not moving anymore. And you have to do that. You have to have movement in your life. You have to have breath in your life. You have to have your chi flowing. You have to just keep it all fresh and going. And if you have to, clear your chakras every single day and, do those meditation showers and just keep that energy flowing and going, because that's the easiest way to achieve anything, is to just make sure that your stress levels are managed, that you're taking small steps in the right direction, and that you're happy and you're grateful and you're mindful of that. And if you fall into a funk, to kind of flip the switch and get yourself out of it. Because it's a whole lot easier to achieve your goals when you're happy and you're grateful about doing it. So that's my 2 cents. Mwah.
Well, that's all I've got for tonight. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up down below. Don't forget to subscribe down below. Also, should say subscribe right down in there somewhere. Anyways, that way you never miss a video or an episode. We are traditionally here Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Last week we were not on due to JereLyn being also not feeling well. And then this upcoming Monday, I'm not sure if I'm going to be available to do it, so we may take another week off. But we definitely like to do little pop-up videos too, without really telling anybody. We did a one on our wands for our classmates at the Star Sign Healing Academy. So just realize it's not just Moms Uncensored, women on talking about spiritual, real life stuff. Sometimes we'll just pop in with a random video here and there. So just wanted to let you guys know, and we appreciate you watching, and we will see you again soon. Namaste.